Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to another episode of Growth Series with Kenna Tribe. My name is Shadrach, and today's episode we'll be looking at the art of business. So I welcome you all to this interesting, mind transforming. So we'll be looking at why your business should be beyond survival and why you should get towards mastery. All right. So our table of content is split into six. We'll be looking at why it matters today, the four pillars of art of business, vision crafting, a beautiful case study, frame of work for AOB, questions and answer. All right. So a little story, backstory about myself. I am simply put in one sentence. I am a student of life. I am ever evolving. I am very passionate about business growth and personal management, people growing much better than they were prior to meeting me. I aspire to leave people more better in terms of positivism than I met them before. That is my life goal. So I welcome you today on today's journey. Welcome. So I have a question here, which is business about numbers or is about imagination? Okay. So we'll be looking at what is AOB. Basically, if you take for instance a product like Coca-Cola, right? These guys have mastered the art of selling the experience and not even the product, right? So what their R&D team have successfully done is they've been able to successfully seen the invisible. They've crafted value and they've evoked an emotion and they've created a lasting impact. There was one time Coca-Cola did a campaign around having names of special people, the names written or branded on the covers, the corks of the Coca-Cola bottles. That was very transformative for a brand and it had a lasting impact. I remember people having up to 10 bottles, empty bottles, in their reserves just because those brands have their names and branded on them. Now, why it matters? In this era of AI and automation that's everywhere, creativity is the only and last human edge that business people have, right? Because customers buy emotions, again, not products, right? So, as business leaders, you must strive to be artists in action because, as I said, business is war. It's either you actually find a way to outlive your customers, your competitors, or you get outlived. Right. These are the four pillars of business as an art. I'll be looking into details around those four, which is vision crafting, EI, which I call emotional intelligence, creative problem solving, and I tag as CPS, and execution mastery. Now, for the first one, which is vision crafting, now you need to find a way to always see beyond trends. Why do I say this? Because trends will come and go. How about what your business stands to do? That's why it's important that in your vision and mission crafting, you want to build a vision that would outlive you. So you want to find a way to outlive you, create a vision that sees beyond trends. And you need to find a way to also envision new possibilities. How can I collaborate? Because, right, they said collaboration is a new competition. How do I find a way to envision new possibilities for my product to ensure that I stay ever relevant in the mind of my target audience? Next is emotional intelligence, right? Empathy over efficiency. Always, always, always. You need to find a way to work your people to build the product. You can't have a product when you don't have the people. So find a way to lead people and not just numbers. That's why we have empathy over efficiency. That's what makes you stand out to be among the 1% leaders of the world. That is one thing they have that other people can't seem to understand. Take, for instance, Tony Lumino. People think to pause, for instance, and wonder, well, how does he do it that he keeps on evolving or on living new versions of himself? Simple. He understands the people game. He understands my people will come first over any number. That's why you find people want to be in the business over 20, 30 years till they are old. I know a company that employs people for life. That is, they don't get a sack you. As long as the company is still active, right, you don't get sacked. The highest you can get that you can do is you get to go on leave when you're probably overwhelmed. Right. The next is CPS. That's the creative problem solving. Find a way to always reframe challenges. I dropped a shot, a YouTube shot yesterday that I was speaking to how you need to always see solutions in problem. That's what stands you out. Right. What makes you very likable by your boss is because you have the skill set of CPS. Right. You're creative. You know how to solve problems, and you don't always come back with problems. You come back with solutions. People tend to get more towards people that are solution oriented. Find a way to mix logic and imagination. Now, in our coming slide, we'll see how this fantastic guy was able to mix knowledge, mix logic, and imagination and created a product that has outlived him. All right. So the next is execution mastery. Ideas are easy, execution is harder. Trust me, it is one thing to have an idea, it is another thing entirely to get started. So execution is where art meets reality, right? Dreams inspire, but only execution builds the future, right? You can only but wish, but if you don't get started, you're still just amongst one of the people that are naysayers. So I encourage you today to get started, even if it's just 1%, get started. Now, we are looking at a case study of a very interesting man that I call an icon. He created a cultural icon. How do I mean? This icon has shifted and moved from decades to decade, very transformative and inspiring brand. That is, I call him His Excellency Steve Jobs. He created a wonderful, magnificent product called the Apple, founded in the year 1976. This product has outlived several other products in its niche. Why? Because it's found a way to do what? It's found a way to actually do this. And it has evoked an emotion that has made it stand, not being able, not other products have not been able to find a way to compete with it because it has delivered an experience that has outlived its founder. Now, this is where I call the VOE board. The VOE simply stands for vision, emotions, and outcome. If you're building your next product or currently have a product, you want to look at it. What product, what vision do I want to create? What emotions do I want to evoke in the hands of my target audience? And what is the outcome? Take, for instance, this man, he put a computer in every home. And next, the product made people feel special. Take for instance, we're speaking to Coca-Cola as a product, how they make people felt special by branding their names on the corks of each bottle. That way, people felt more connected to the brand. So, as a visioneer of your product, you want to find a way to make people be more connected to your brand. That way, you sell an experience over product. And the outcome was Apple, the almighty Apple, that people will, I would say, killed for. People do a lot of crazy stuff. You don't want to know crazy stuff people do just to have an Apple phone or an Apple product in their corner, right? So please feel free to write it down in your vision scaping. What is your VEO? Now moving on. If your business were to be an art, what would it be? It may not be any of those categories, but these are some of the four I thought about while putting this together. It would be a painting, an architecture, music, or dance. Now, the framework for business artistry, there are three Ds. It's dreaming. When you envision, what do you see? When you sleep and close your eyes and think about your business, what do you envision? That is you dreaming. Now, the strategy, very, very important. I make bold to mention that ensure that your strategy is very flexible, especially in an era like we are in today, which is the artificial intelligence era. Things are moving as fast as the tick of a clock, even faster. Things are changing. So you want to ensure that your business strategy is very flexible and not tacky or cumbersome for your people to understand and digest to implement. And the next is delivery, execution. Please, if you have the other two and you don't do this last one, it is pointless. It's a waste of time. Ensure that you deliver no matter how little it is, right? If you think the cost of delivery is too expensive, wait until you're handed the bill of being stagnant, right? Now we move to the mindset to master the art of business. You actually need to think like a creator, not just a manager, right? You want to think apply it to your daily processes. How do I make this more creative? How do I make this more creative for people to buy into the experience and try and communicate out there? You need to find a way to fill the market pulse, not just the profit or the numbers that you are after. Find a way to make people want to have a repeat purchase of your product and get to have what they call word of mouth. Because why? You had a fantastic experience while dealing with your product. And the last, which but not the least, is build things that matter. Don't just build things out of just wishing or I just feel like. Make your research, speak to the fact what is the market currently saying and demanding. That way you should be able to build. And last, I leave you with business is one. Only busy people do business. If you're not ready to become busy, you should not find yourself anywhere close to doing business. Now, business people are the artists of modern world. For instance, His Excellency Steve Jobs, right? There are people like that also in different industries. You have the likes of Dangote, you have the likes of Femi Otedola, you have the Tony Lumelu, right? These guys are the artists of the modern world. People tend to affiliate easily with their brands because why? They've been able to evoke a certain kind of emotion with them with their brand. Their brand addresses a particular problem that they have, and they have no option than to tick to what this business is about. Yes, so I leave you with questions and answer. We've come to the end of today's session, and I trust that it was very, very impactful. If you have any questions, feel free to send us a message, and we'll be super happy to answer them. You can send us a message at I am Kenna Global. That's all our social handles, or you can actually send us an email. Kenna Tribe is KNA, Tribe is TRYBE Ventures at gmail.com. Our next episode is going to be very, very explosive. It is Tag Advantage. It's going to be happening on the 13th of June. That is next month. It's going to be happening on the 13th of June. And please feel free to join us. We're going to be speaking to what the things that stands you out, the advantage that you have that you've not tapped into. That's the untapped advantage that you have in your business and personal life that will stand you out in the world. All right. Until I come again your way next time, I remain your humble host, Shebak, for the Kenna Tribe movement. See you soon.